So if we can find out why we gain weight in the first place, and if we can reverse that process, then we can start losing weight. And this is the problem a lot of time we have, is that every time we talk about losing weight, the issue we deal with is that our concept is that we cannot lose weight without going to gym or just start eating healthy. Well, the problem with that is that we did not gain weight because we did not go to gym. In fact, all of our weight that we gain is basically at home during our breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So somehow we need to figure it out that we have to lose weight is exactly the way we gained it. So the first thing first, I would say, is that a lot of time we blame one thing, and that is fat. We think that, okay, we are gaining weight or is because we are eating fat and we need to cut down on our fats. It's actually far from the truth. We actually can eat fat and still not gain weight. And this whole no fat, no cholesterol thing started back in the 1950s when they realized that heart attacks were on the rise in North America, and they did this study and they recruited, I think, 5,000 people, and they did their random testing and found out that people who had higher cholesterol than other people, and they were getting more heart attacks and things like that. So what government at that time and the researchers thought that, okay, if we lower cholesterol or lower fat in our body, then we could avoid getting so many heart attacks or other heart related diseases. And so the food industry, so what they get this message out of the authorities that, okay, well, fat is bad. So then it was just a chance for them to make billions of dollars, and they decided, we can produce products that are no fat or no cholesterol and sell it to people. And actually, what researchers were trying to say is that yes, we can cut down on saturated fats or and the foods that are high in cholesterol, and we could and instead we could increase our intake of vegetables and fruits and things like that. But that message was not received, and these multi-billion companies, they just started mass producing the food with no fat and no cholesterol logo on them. So that's the background of it. I don't want to get in too much into it. So what I'm trying to say is that eating fat does not make us fat. So what does make us fat, or what does make us gain weight, and how we can prevent it? So I would just simplify it that in our body there are so many hormones that do different things in our body. Some of them, are hunger hormones. They make us hungry. Some of them are for other things, and some of them create energy. Some of them actually make fats, and some of them. So these are the hormones that different hormones do different things. So what I would say is that one hormone that you might have heard in the past as well that actually has a lot to do with weight gain is called insulin. Yes, it is the same hormone that has to do a lot to do with diabetes. So basically, in short sentence, I would say is that every time we eat food, right, that we have a blood glucose response to that food, and what our body does is that it releases insulin hormone to clean our blood, basically to take glucose out of the blood and then feed our hungry cells, energy hungry cells, to perform day-to-day activities. So the problem happens is when we have too much of glucose in our bloodstream, and insulin, and our body it cannot handle that, or actually it does the other way around, and it actually keeps doing it, and it creates so much energy that our body cannot use it, and then that energy has to go somewhere, and that energy gets into storage. It's called glycogen. So basically glycogen is the stored energy in our liver, basically, and in around our muscles, that we can't consume. We can't really burn that energy off, so it gets stored, and for the later use, by the way. But that later use never come back, and we keep feeding ourselves every few hours with snacks and the kind of foods that actually are high. Their glucose response is very high, and what ends up happening is that we just are topping up ourselves, and we never go to that stored energy, glycogen, and eventually that stored energy gets converted into fats, and those are the fats that we see around our stomach area, or arms, or thighs, and things like that. And that's how we gain weight, and that's how we get fat. So if we can reverse this process, then the way we are gaining weight, same way we can lose weight, if we can reverse that process. And that is the main thing. And if we can understand this throughout our weight loss journey, it's much easier. And if we can just simply really slow, or even if we can slow it down, all we have to do is just be mindful of this process. And this is the process that will take us in the long run, bring it into our healthier BMI, and help us lose weight even faster than you would think so. So this is today's video. I just wanted to talk about is that a lot of time people, and including me, I never knew why we gain weight and how we gain weight. And I always thought that, and like others, think that, okay, maybe I'm not doing enough exercises, or I'm not going for a walk, or not running enough on treadmill, or or I'm not even eating healthier enough. And another thing I wanted to just point out here is that there's also one thing comes up is every time, apart from the exercise, that people say that I'm eating healthy, I'm eating this and this and that, but I'm still not losing weight. And one of the reason is that because even though we are eating healthier, but still that stored energy is still there. It's like we never touch that stored energy. We never use that. We never utilize that. And all we're doing is that we're just topping up ourselves with more and more food and more energy, and body can't eventually handle it, and it keeps storing it. So I will just end this video here. I just want to make shorter videos now, because the last video was around 20 minutes, over 20 minutes. I think it was pretty long. So now this is the one that just wanted to get out of as quickly as possible, because a lot of my friends are waiting for it to see when we're gonna start actually going towards weight loss. So this is my first video for that reason, and it's very important. So just understand it that any food we eat has a glucose response, like insulin. Body would create insulin to take that glucose out of our bloodstream to convert that into energy. And if we keep feeding ourselves and keep feeding ourselves with wrong foods, then for sure we will help our body to create more stored energy, and that converts into fats, and that's how we gain weight. And in the next video, I will talk about how we reverse this process, and by reversing this process, we will tap into our stored energy, and that's where, when we get into that, then we will start losing weight, and it will be pretty rapid actually. So stay tuned for the next one, and hopefully we'll go from there. Thank you.